This is Western Mass News.
It's a story we've been following since Monday. Allegations of racial bullying in the Southwick Regional School District, specifically at the high school, where a black female student faced derogatory remarks and was included in an online slave auction where white students could bid on her and her black classmates. Welcome to Western Mass News at 6. I'm Abby Carnevale. Tonight, we're hearing from that student's mother, who has also filed a discrimination complaint. Western Mass News reporter Wesley Days sat down with Allison Lopez earlier today and is live in studio with more of his conversation. And Wesley, these incidents started quite some time ago.
They did, Abby. These incidents of racial discrimination against this young lady have been happening for months. Now, in a month that's supposed to celebrate Black history, this family is trying to understand, how could this have happened?
Forward unless she gets them, right? She's respectful. She is kind-hearted beyond what you would think a 13-year-old today will be.
Allison Lopez and her daughter have more than your typical mother-daughter relationship. They're close friends.
She's my confidant, and we share a lot, right? But at the same time, she will take on a lot of people's weight just because she wants to be that person of support.
That heavy weight now being felt by Allison. She says her daughter endured a lot since being at Southwick Regional High School, from derogatory racial remarks to the very latest incident just weeks ago, an online slave auction where Allison's daughter was placed on a fictional sale block.
It was called Black Lives RAL, something like that. I guess L is for lower class or low. But it was $2 to $4 a bid.
Just days after that incident, an investigation took place. Southwick Granville Tallinn Regional School Superintendent Jennifer Willard shared a statement with Western Mass News earlier today that said, quote, "The district investigated the situation in accordance with its established policies and protocols. As of Friday, February 16th, the district concluded its investigation. However, due to strict laws protecting student privacy, we are unable to comment on the specific disciplinary consequences and or other steps being taken by the district." But Allison highlights a problem with that investigation.
They have conducted an investigation, first and foremost, Wesley, and my daughter has not been investigated. They have not spoken to my daughter.
Allison tells Western Mass News her daughter only spoke with one of the assistant principals at the school when they first reported the incident. Lopez has a meeting with the superintendent on Thursday, but as she prepares for that conversation, she looks back to when she decided to send her daughter to the school through a parent choice program. Her daughter was apprehensive.
My response was, it's going to be okay, right? You're going to be okay. This is, 2023. You'll be fine.
Now, in 2024, with several incidents of racism to contend with, Allison is dealing with the pain of the past.
A little bit of apprehension at first, but I think she truly went because of me. And I hurt for that. I hurt more for that, and as moms and, not just Black moms, but as moms, we intend to think that we can make the final decision for our kiddos. And sometimes we need to listen. And I didn't listen. I didn't listen when she said to me, "Mom, I'm not sure about this." I didn't listen, and I should have listened.
$2 to $4 a bid. The Hampden District Attorney's Office has also launched its own investigation into these incidents and promises to hold the proper people accountable. When I asked Allison what she first asked the superintendent on Thursday, she said, "Why did it take so long for you to investigate?" Reporting live in studio, Wesley Days, Western Mass News.